Imagine the European quarter completely deserted, offices shuttered, and members of the European Parliament, MEPs, vanished for the summer. It's an ideal moment to finally dive into some summer reading, away from the usual hustle and bustle. But here's where it gets controversial. While many feel stuck in the repetitive EU bubble of policies and reports, this break offers a chance to break free from that monotony. So, forget about plowing through those tedious policy non-papers. Seriously, who thought that name was catchy, that you pretend to find interesting? And instead, treat yourself to books that are genuinely enjoyable and enlightening. If you're wondering what to pick up next, Politico has got you covered with a curated list of book recommendations from a fascinating mix of EU insiders, officials, journalists, politicians, and even fellow readers within the bubble itself. Prefer listening to recommendations on the go? You can catch these book tips in the latest episode of the EU Confidential podcast, where expert picks are discussed in detail. Let's start with Kaja Kallas, the EU's High Representative for Foreign Policy. Even in her leisure reading, she embraces her role with books that shed light on complex geopolitical dynamics. She suggests The Great Game by Peter Hopkirk, a gripping account of the 19th century rivalry between the Russian and British empires over Central Asia, rich with intrigue and historical drama. Alongside that, she recommends Do Not Disturb by journalist Michela Wrong, which provides an in-depth look at Rwanda's intricate political backdrop. From the other side of the Atlantic, Kallas brings attention to The Situation Room, written by George Stephanopoulos, a trusted advisor to former U.S. agenda, President Bill Clinton, and a TV host, co-authored with Lisa Dickey. This book gives readers an insider's view of political decision-making at the highest level. And for a modern understanding of authoritarianism, she points to Anne Applebaum's Autocracy, Inc., which explores how contemporary autocratic regimes function and sustain themselves. Moving over to culture and sports, EU Commissioner Glenn Micallef is engrossed in I Giorni di Vetro, The Days of Glass, a poignant novel by Nicoletta Verna that portrays the lives of two contrasting women in fascist-era Italy. Offering personal perspectives during a dark chapter of history, Micallef also champions What the Night Lets You Say, a collection of captivating short stories by Pierre Meillac, an acclaimed author from Malta, perfect for anyone who loves rich storytelling in bite-sized portions. From Sweden, Jessica Rosencrantz, Minister for EU Affairs, introduces readers to Human Acts by Nobel laureate Han Kang. This powerful narrative recounts the tragic events of the Gwangju uprising in the 1980s, where student protesters faced brutal repression under dictatorship. A moving reflection on human rights and resilience. Taking a literary detour, Sarah Wheaton, who hosts Politico Confidential and is an American expatriate living in Europe, offers a more personal pick. The poetry collection, There Lives a Young Girl in Me Who Will Not Die, by Danish writer Tove Ditlevsen. For something lighter and relatable, especially for transatlantic travelers, she also recommends Bill Bryson's I'm a Stranger Here Myself, a humorous and heartfelt exploration of adjusting back to American culture after 2 decades abroad. For those craving something truly unique and layered, Sarah suggests H is for Hawk by Helen MacDonald. It's a book that defies simple categorization, mixing nature writing, a spiritual journey, and a biographical homage to the Arthurian novelist T.H. White. MacDonald's story is deeply moving as she trains a hawk while coping with the grief of losing her father, blending the wildness of nature with profound personal healing. Dionisio Stouris, producer of Politico Confidential, brings yet another intriguing recommendation, The Impusium by the celebrated Polish author Olga Tokarczuk. This latest work ventures into horror territory, set in a health resort nestled in the Silesian Mountains and inspired by Thomas Mann's The Magic Mountain. What makes it stand out is its narrative voice, told collectively as we, adding a communal dimension to the eerie tale. Dionys also endorses Tell Me Everything by Elizabeth Strout, a masterful blend of storytelling and intimate small-town drama that captures the complexities of human nature. So whether you're a history buff, a poetry enthusiast, a political junkie, or simply someone looking to escape the familiar confines of the EU bubble this summer, these recommendations offer a diverse and compelling mix of narratives. And here's the part most people miss. These books don't just entertain. They challenge our perceptions and encourage us to see the world from fresh perspectives. What do you think? Are these picks convincing enough to break free from the usual EU literature grind? Or do you believe sticking to policy documents still holds more value? We'd love to hear your thoughts and spirited debates in the comments below.